fun fact, like we actually saw Death Cab as friends, like when we were in college. This is like this was 2009.
Yeah,
at the Greek Theater in Berkeley, and it's fun because that they're playing Transatlanticism, and it just been raining. The sun came out for the evening, and like everyone's making out, and we're just friends, just like, yep, awkward.
The mood was set, and still, it was just like, high five. You want a high five? Welcome, everybody, to Casting for Two. I'm back, baby. Back and ready to, I don't know, chat. To share the chats that I've had. It's been a while. I'm not going to lie. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the podcast hosted by me, Chris. I'm that guy. This is episode number 583. And I have a wonderful duo on this podcast. I'm gonna say this was a really long chat, and I had to edit it down because we were just talking. We were just chit-chatting and chat-chitting. But yeah, that's really it. If you want to keep up with me, follow me on the website castingfor2.com. That's where you also find my socials. Anyway, I just had a pretty bad brain fart. I have a wonderful group, returning group with a new album called Velveteen. It's available right now, and you guys should just go out and pick it up, Matt and Rachel from Phosphene is back on the podcast. And let me just say that I've had a really good time keeping up with them, chatting with them. They're just a good group, a good duo, and make some amazing music. And I'm just done chatting because you need to get into this episode, all right? So everybody sit back and relax. And Matt and Rachel, take it away. I was so excited for this chat. I don't know how to start it out. I'm just like, yeah, it's just let it go, let it exist, whatever. I'm happy you guys are here, though.
Yeah, we're happy to be here.
Yeah, I know. It's been a minute since we last spoke.
It has been, and it amazed me that you're doing everything, like grassroots, no publicists, like just it's all you. And I was just like, they had a publicist last time, right? And then I was looking at my email. I was like, oh, it was just them. Okay, well, rock on. I'm sure it's annoying and tedious and heartbreaking and all that.
Right. It is, but honestly, I mean, we've been on and off with certain publicists, and honestly, we both do it, but it's primarily been my role since the jump, and I actually enjoy personally just like acting as our own publicist because I don't know, we've had mixed results there, and I've realized that, like, I mean, you're a great example of, like, I don't know, if you just reach out to people organically and are earnest, I find that to be, historically with our band at least, a much more successful recipe for getting press than just like throwing it to a publicist blind.
Right. I always appreciate the personal touch in the reaching out. A lot of these are just like, hey, Chris from Instagram, I'm like, okay, thanks. And I always, after they send their blurb, I always ask them, how did you hear about me? Like, how did you find me? And sometimes they don't respond back. So I'm like, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, no, and that's why, I mean, it was great connecting with you, at this point, a handful, at least 3 years ago. Mm-hmm. So because like I mean we seek people out with intention, and I think we, not to bore you with any of this business, but you're paying someone to basically just do sort of like a wide spray of your EPK and your new music, where I think Rachel and I really like being as personal and intentional. Like, oh, would we be a good fit for this blog, or like would maybe this person might be interested in their podcast?
Yeah, no.
Yeah, and like transparently, I feel like some of the press we've secured with a publicist, like, it's not to shit on anyone, but it's like it's no better than stuff we've been able to get ourselves. And at the end of the day, like, I feel like to the point of like a personal touch, you know, the press that comes out of that stuff is more like, oh, they like copy pasted like stuff from our EP.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
thank you.
To that point, it's like, honestly, like, we've cultivated some great relationships with people like you, but also even traditional media, like Caleb does premieres on Under the Radar. I reached out to Caleb during Transmute just because I read their work and said, hey, you know, like, again, it's part of like trying to be as sincere as possible. I told him, I really think you do beautiful reviews. I love your premieres. If you would want to consider us, here's our music, but like, no pressure.
Yeah.
And people more often than not tend to respond to that, as opposed to just, you know, like, oh, you know, we sound like Mick Jagger and Slow Dive had a baby, and just, you know, doing this personal grand pitch.
Now that you say that, I hear it. No, but so you know, 2026 has been the year of just cutting out publicists on my end, that I'm just like, go away. Either because they're too difficult, too demanding, or look, this podcast has been going on for 15 years. I think I can say no to people. So, one lady who I don't work with really, she's telling me like, oh, thanks for putting the episode out. They didn't sell anything, and I'm like, isn't that a you problem? Like, nobody purchased their record. Okay, that's you though. That's not. And why are you telling me this? And no, I don't want to work with you again. So anyway, I just,
that's wild.
I already am. I've been on the fence with this publicist, and I haven't worked with her in like, I don't know, 8 years, but a band that came through and they were working with her, and I was like, okay, I like you. I'll deal with the crazy publicist. And then she wanted me to get back and like, oh, I have bands for you. I was like, no, thank you. I'm good. I don't.
Yeah. That's pretty weird. I mean, we've similarly, like, I mean, without naming names, but I will say, there have been some funny hiccups where, you know, for some reason, certain publications, not even nationally, but there's some regionally here. There's one in particular that we find head scratching because their sole music editor for the publication is not located in the state, and they're really difficult to reach. And there's, to a certain point, I originally were talking to each other like, wait, if this is a Portland specific publication that's telling you what shows to go to, what is happening on the scene, how do you do that 600 miles away?
Right.
And they've been so difficult. Like, so we never also get to contact them either. It's just, it's kind of the silliness we deal with. And then on the other end, we've had publicists that get us bad press. And we had a writer on our last album cycle flame out because we didn't share it enough.
To their satisfaction, apparently.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. Well,
yeah. A little bit of an ego.
Yeah, go to hell.
They're upset.
Yeah. Really like healthy reaction.
It is so. For many years, I was trying to contact this Portland radio station, because for a stint, I was only interviewing bands from Portland. It was not intentional. It just kind of turned out that way. And I said, oh, you know what? Maybe I can edit my interviews down, make them radio friendly, and, present them if you wanted to. And
Right.
I spent a year trying to get this girl's attention. And then when I got her attention, I sent her clips. And she said, yeah, I didn't listen to this. This isn't for us, though. And I was like, you're literally talking to a person I interviewed, like, on the pod, like, that's going down right now. And so it was one of the most infuriating slash, I never send hateful emails, but this is
Right.
one time I was just like, oh, I'm going to unleash hell. And then she said, oh, well, sorry. Hopefully we get to work with each other. I'm like, I don't want any. Yeah, I think she was like, I'll name names because she's a bitch. I know. I think she was like Portland Radio Project or something. I don't.
No, it's honestly, yeah, some mind-boggling responses recently. I'm not going to say who it is, and it's still up in the air. But I will say the station. Like, people have always talked to us about, you guys would be a great fit for KXP, and I'm like, I agree, but most of the DJs, it's really difficult to get a hold of them.
Yeah, it's just, I think, like, whether it's intentional or not, and obviously KXP is one of the most popular ones on the side of the country, but like, it just gets frustrating, I think, especially when you're an indie musician looking to make a connection, and it would be nice not to counter so much gatekeeping.
Right.
And even with, like, I mean, it's fine. There's this other, it's not one of the, like, the major DJs. This is someone who's like younger, but also runs like a really cool Northwest exclusive program and highlighting a lot of independent artists. And I contacted them over 2 months ago, and I did a couple follow-ups. I tried to give them like at least 3-4 weeks each, but I don't want to bother you, but just checking in. And finally they wrote back 2 months later. And the whole point was saying, hey, we love your program and the fact that you feature Northwest artists. Here's like some music you can stream from our upcoming album list if you want download code, blah, blah, blah. And they wrote back, and the response was just, congrats on the release. And I was like,
thanks for sending.
I was like, no. Do you want to play it?
Yeah.
Just like read the email.
So people get a little goofy.
Read the words in subsequent order.
If an email is too long, they won't even read it. They're just like, let's see, okay, whatever, who cares? It's a shame. It's a Trumpian way of thinking, and it's a shame. So yeah, I don't know.
I'm sorry. I'm just glad we could both open out the gate, just like, air some shit.
Yeah, no, I'm all about, airing some grievances and making some enemies along the way. That's kind of where I'm at. No, it's just because, you guys work hard, and your music should be listened to by as many people as possible. So, like, throw you a bone. And if you want to throw me a bone too, that's fine. But
and similarly, we feel that's very sweet. And it's same to you, right? It's like you put so much work into your show, and you've been doing it for so long. There's like a baseline of I think respect and dignity people want.
Yeah, just line etiquette. It's like, of course you're going to encounter some rejection along the way. It's just like, can you take 5 seconds to respond to something and give a clear answer? I think a lot of us can.
And even just, we talked about this the other night because when we were venting about press, it's like when you get those wins and you make connections similar to this, that fills our cup, and it makes us feel seen, it makes us feel heard and valued. But, we were just saying, like, with people who are so gatekeeping, especially music journalists and writers and blogs, especially that are like really prickly about you, God forbid, ever following up 5 weeks later.
Right.
We try to, what depresses us is we just wonder, like, do you forget that it takes like 3 years for this to happen for album? Like, I mean, from writing, tracking, producing, and procuring everything, like it's a mountain of work. And I think when like we run into people that are just like, if you fucking follow up with me, I'm not just like, flag it and delete. I'm like, what?
Well, and I think I said something like, and this is probably going to trigger a lot of music critics, but it's like you'd have nothing to talk about if it weren't for the music that we're trying to submit. Not just us, obviously, but like any band's music, like you wouldn't really have shit to talk about. So maybe understand that it's a two-way relationship.
Yeah, because I feel for other independent artists where it's like they really have to grind that axe and see if like they can make any sort of cut into press, because this is my last bit of smack talking, but I will say, like, I love reading Stereogum. That's like been a blog I've read since college, and you cannot reach anyone there ever. I've tried every single person in earnest of being like, I loved your like reflection on Beach House, like because they're doing some 10th anniversary posts, and it's just interesting to me because, in other words, it's like, it's not that we're jaded. We've just realized how the game works, because even with blogs that call themselves indie, if you don't have a publicist from a good PR firm, or you're not a very established artist on its own, you're not going to get coverage.
Yeah. And
I've seen Stereogum, like, I'm sorry, I'm going to call them out, but I'm like, why do we need to hear your opinion on Sia? Why do we need to hear your opinion on, Hannah Montana and like the Billboard artists? Like I don't need a Taylor think piece from your publication. I could get that anywhere else, but I see how much like those big artists still infiltrate the quote unquote indie blogs, where I think we're just resigned at this point, but that's kind of the game.
Yeah. How do we infiltrate the game and just change it up for everyone? Like where the smaller artists win and the Hannah Montana fucks off. Like how can we get that done?
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't even know. It blew me away the moment that podcasts were legitimate, because I again been doing this so long that I missed when people were like hiring people for podcast jobs, and I was like, what like it doesn't make any sense to me. So I was like, okay, now I guess I need to redo my resume, or I need to have a podcast resume. And it's just like, well, I've done this. If you want to listen to it, here you go. Like, what do I do? So it's just, yeah, now I'm talking as an old fogey, but I'm just like, what is going on? Mark Maron was smart to get out when he got out.
Right.
But he did have a lot of good work, so it's deserved.
I know.
But anyway, the reason why you two are on here is because I want to bitch about the Blazers, and I don't have anybody around me. They're all fucking Spurs, which I like the Spurs, respect to the Spurs, but they're just, I'm just alone. That's where that's at. No, I'm just kidding. But part of me does hope they lose.
I got it.
Nah, it was
a heartbreaking last couple of days.
It really was. I see your Dame frame jersey.
Yeah.
It's blurry. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I think that was like Rachel said, that was a heartbreaker, because I was like, oh no, like Wemby's out for a game. That's when you steal a game.
Yeah.
And
I felt like it was looking good up until that last quarter. So
fourth quarter was a mess.
Yeah.
Game, I think it was game 3. Mm-hmm. Like it was either game 3 or game 4 where I just thought, oh. Actually, it might have been both fourth quarters from those games where they collapsed.
Yeah. So, I mean, I feel like I'm bad luck. So I'll start out watching, and then I'll just be like, I can't watch anymore because, I'm gonna lose it. And I remember my girlfriend and I were watching, and they were winning by so much. I said, okay, I'm good to turn it off because, they're winning. And then they lost, and I was just, even my girlfriend was just like, what are you kidding me? And I'm just like, no, uh,
It's crazy. I mean, we're similar to you. I think I know which game you're talking. Like, it might have been game 3 or 4
yeah.
where halftime they were up by like 19.
Mm-hmm.
We were out like at the time doing the most important thing. We're just going to like some like queer nursery to go pick up some lavender, and I was like, I don't need to tune in this. Like, they got it.
They do.
Come back home at the end, and I'm like, oh fuck. This is when like Damian Lillard would pay off if you need a buck.
Which, it's a thing you guys will get, because again, Spurs people don't get. Like, Blazers were predicted to be last place, just like not even make it to the finals. They just whatever. And I was like, without they made it to the playoffs without their star player, without their head coach who went to jail or is waiting to go to jail. Like,
what a season.
Right.
Like, this is they did a good job. They could have done better, but still a good job for them. So that's the mindset I had. And then when the watching one of the news stations here, some lady said, "Good morning to everybody except Portland. If you're from Portland, we don't, we hope you have a bad day." So that triggered something in me to just say, I said fuck off, and because fuck off. And then the guy anchor liked it, and he went boo.
Cool.
I was just like, what the fuck? Anyway, whatever. But yeah, that was. I'm both proud of them, and wish I had people who saw it my way. So the amount of struggle that they did. So
agreed. Even we're still like I'm like sort of reluctantly watching some of the playoffs right now. We just watched some of the W opening night, which was awesome. The team, I will say, the only team I really don't want to win it this year is OKC. That's just me. I know some people say,
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's I was happy they got their chip, but I don't
want to see anyone flopping their way at the top.
There's a weird standard if you watch OKC games. They can grab your jersey, they can kick you right in the face, but that's legal defense. And then Shea, if you accidentally, I don't know, you sneeze near him and he flies a mile, then that's 10 free throws. I saw some low light clips from the Lakers series. I'm like, but he's so talented. I'm like, you could get 30 in your sleep without flopping. But the fact you have to just like get your 9 to 12 free throws a game to just be like, oh yeah, like Marcus Smart like farted near me, and then suddenly he's on the floor. Sorry, just some egregious flopping in this series so far.
Yeah, no, I don't want them to win. I don't want the Lakers. Well, I don't know if the Lakers are they still in it?
They're down 2.
I can't imagine them winning.
I don't think they're gonna win the series, but at least like I'd love them to chip. By the way, I'm with you. I don't want Lakers to win the chip either, but so I call it a hate series. I don't like either team. I think I want the Lakers to beat them.
Yeah, it's when I was first moving to Oregon, it was during that series of Lakers and Blazers, and I just have so much love for that time, and to see like, oh, what's Oregon look like? And then my dad turned on the channel to the finals. Like, oh, that's it. And it blew me away that it's 9 and it's still sunny. What?
Right.
What? And that's just like the Netflix Jailblazers doc that came out. I cried during it because I had all those posters in my room. I had Rasheed Wallace, I had Stephen Smith, Muggsy, Stoudemire, the Pippen. Like, I had those posters. I had I can't forget Alvitas Sabovas. There we go. And
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I just had all those posters, so it made me cry. And my girlfriend was just like, "Are you crying?" I go, "Yeah, because that's my team." And Rasheed Wallace was just never understood. They tried to put in a box. He shouldn't have been put in a box. Whatever. Um, I can't really say to how good they were because, again, I was a kid. But I was just like, oh man, this is. Well, that's when they became my team for life. And then Damien comes along, and I'm like, oh well, okay, I'm not like, okay, I'm not going anywhere. Even when he did. But came back. I was crying when he came back. Oh,
Yeah.
uh, so much crying. It's
Emotional.
It's good.
but anyway, how's it going for you guys?
I feel like we don't want to reopen some wounds here.
Nah, go ahead.
Yeah.
Well, one exciting thing, in addition to Dame coming back to play next season, is the Portland Fire starting up.
Yeah.
For that.
That'll be fun. I'm going to do the thing of just like getting the cheapest seats day of when the scalpers have given up. That's something I've started doing that like the past couple years. We even did it because Rachel never saw Nine Inch Nails until last year.
Oh.
So I told her, it was my third time seeing them. I'm like, yo, if we just wait, like, because like if you wait like 3-4 hours for the show, like the scalpers are not going to be charging you like $50 to $200 more.
Whoa.
So, we got like tickets that were hundreds of dollars down to like 60, I think.
Yeah, it was like 60, okay. 70.
Yeah, we were like pretty up close.
Really good
so
seats.
Yeah, I was happy she finally got to see them because like
that's incredible.
Each tour is different, and I still think like for a 6-year-old, I don't know how he.
I don't understand how he's 60. It doesn't compute.
Yeah,
I saw them when they were on tour with Queens of the Stone Age, and this was back when it was the Rose Garden still, and it's a concert I'll never forget because the two people sitting next to my group, it was me and two other people, they started having sex, and I was just like, oh, okay. And of course it happened during Fuck Me Like an Animal, because that's the only classy way to get down.
Yeah.
And I was just like, okay, I mean, this is a cool show. I was there for Queens of the Stone Age, though, to be honest.
Yeah.
But still a good show, and memorable.
Well, Chris,
that's a good pairing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, not pairing with what happened around you. Hopefully,
no, not in proximity.
The worst. So I was just gonna stay overnight in Portland, and my parents got me a hotel room, and of course I'm walking back to the hotel, and who do I see in that elevator?
No.
Yeah, I saw them both, and I was just like, I was not as cool as I was, and so I just awkwardly stood in there with them, and then just like ran to my room. I was just like,
that's appropriate.
I've seen enough.
I mean, hopefully you weren't eating any food, like a corn dog or anything.
No, I wish I would have, or like a popsicle, just something, and just be like, I was saving this, and now is the perfect time to eat it. Yeah, I don't know. So,
like, can you hold this?
Oh yeah, and then my hair smelled like weed. That
is memorable.
that was my 9 Inch Nails experience. Still fun show, fun time. So
it seems pretty on brand.
Yeah, and I feel like a lot of concerts like that, it's just kind of not the sex part, but like the weed part, it's inevitable. And when you grow up a kid and I'm just super against it and just like no, no, no. And then you grow up and it's just like that's fine, whatever, who cares? So, well, now it's all vape, right?
Yeah, the vaping is obnoxious. I will say we got lucky, at least for Rachel at this Nine Inch Nails show, because compared to when you saw them at Queens of Stone Age, everyone's much older now, so like everyone's got there's no freaky stuff going on. Everyone has PT.
Right.
And,
They got bad knees, bad hips.
Yeah, people are kids. They're like preteen kids, so a little bit of environment.
But what it's amazing to see just all this stuff, but through an older lens and through older eyes. I'm just like, what? Like, yeah, I don't think I could see Nine Inch Nails again, but or a concert in general. I can't do general admission. I need my seat. I need to see, and that's it. So
You designated space.
Mm-hmm.
We've retired mostly from that too. Mm-hmm. I'm still like my legs don't got it in me to do 3-4 hours of standing.
No.
Yeah. I don't want to. And plus, who wants to fight for their spot? It's just like, yeah, I just you fight and I'll go sit. And
yeah,
I'll go
you
have. Because we're gonna see Yellow Card next month, and Yellow Card. What's the No Found Glory?
Wow.
Oh, what? And Plain White Tees, and I'm just like, there better be seats because I'm not doing general admission.
I feel like they should know what their crowd is.
Yeah. my girlfriend saw Boys Like Girls, and she was just like, I mean, it wasn't sold out, A, and B, a lot of like comfy shoes, like a lot of the New Balances and stuff. Yeah, and people stretching in between each band.
Yeah, I gotta start jams.
Yeah,
seriously.
So, getting older, yay. That's fine, whatever. I assume we're all similar age.
Yeah.
Except for this last time, we're all like within a year.
You're millennial too, right?
Hell yeah, I am.
Yeah, that's us too.
Yeah, we're 38.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna be saying goodbye to 38, but that's okay. Well, also, I've been because I'm at the age where I forget how old I am. I thought I spent my whole 32s thinking I was 33. And then I was like, oh, I have 32 again? Okay, cool. But my girlfriend, I'll just, say, what's it like to date somebody that's 40? Just having her say, you're not 40, you're 38. And I'm like, oh, she has to remember my age because I don't. It's old. I'm old. Whatever. Who cares?
Is she a few years younger?
Yeah, she's 35.
Okay.
So I told her, I gave her that important task. So, just, well, and also I'm the same age as her brother. So, 06, yay.
Yeah, I was going to say, so you're 38, but you're going on 39.
Mm-hmm.
You get to the end of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I am. But, it's, I don't really. I don't care, and I'm not concerned. If I reach 40, I'm like, cool. 40 or 4 decades. That's pretty cool. Anyway, moving on.
Honestly, I think we've enjoyed our 30s and actually everything that's come with past like near decade of just like, for us at least, it's been like it's growth. It's like knowing your people, your community, and just feeling a little more at peace. Yeah. And having like the kind of low key confidence where stuff doesn't bother you as much anymore.
Yeah, I also feel like, going through this period of aging, like 30 to 40, it like feels and looks a lot different than the boomers did, at least from my vantage point. Like, I feel like 40 felt and looked different when my mom turned 40 than it does now.
Way less nicotine, way less cocaine. You know, I think
Not
that's why.
Did those things,
no, but that's why I'm saying, like, everyone on this call looks a little freshy faced, you know, compared to maybe.
Yeah, like people generally like that use SPF and like read good information. Well, not everyone gets good information, but information is out there.
Oh yeah, hydration, that's a big one. Yeah, because old people do not hydrate. They're like, I drink tea that has water in it, but you're not hydrating yourself. And of course, you know, I drink beer. All right, well, that's not hydrating yourself. It's amazing to me that from my parents, I feel like they've always been in their 40s, even when I was a kid. Like my mom, my vision of my mom, she's in her 40s, and you know that's where she stayed. I can't imagine my mom being younger because my parents, they both. I think I was around when they were in their 30s. I assume I was, but I'm just like, Mom, you're not. My dad's 70 and my mom's approaching. She's like 65 or something, and I'm like, you're still 40 to me, so stop acting like you're old. All right, get out there. So
exactly.
But I was so what else is going on? Talking about old parents, old farts.
Honestly, so much has been consumed recently with, like, say, just the album. Honestly, like, it's funny because there's always stuff going on that we have that's fun, sometimes uneventful. Like, I get so stoked about gardening, you know, or just like checking out a Japanese maple tree. What are the games? What about the fertilizer? Just all pruning and stuff. But, you know, like, and then you with your sourdough wizardry recently, but
habits.
But honestly, like, it's really since like we were prepping to record when we tracked last February, 2025 for the album. Like, it's been a steady stream of work, believe it or not. Like, you know, obviously you wouldn't say this, but a lot of people after we tracked, they're like, "Is it coming out next month?" Like, that's cute. That's adorable.
Sure, like, whatever.
Assembly line of stuff where obviously it's not like, okay, day in, day out, all 24 hours are on, but just like the mixing, the mastering, music video ideation, album art, going through the process of vinyl for the first time.
We just got the vinyl like 4 days ago. What is that like to be like, my music is on vinyl?
It feels really good, especially just because it wasn't like, I think we kept an open mind just going through this process for the first time, but it's definitely a journey. Like, you know, you're working with an analog format and analog limitations. So there were like lots of different steps in the process and doing test pressings and all that. So it's like, you know, it's something you have to stick with, but like, I think getting the vinyl and actually holding it, like putting it on our turntable, like it was really rewarding.
Yeah. As, you know, difficult as the process can be going through what Rachel was just talking about with getting it made, I don't know, there is really something wonderful that you feel about the medium, like, and all its imperfections, right? It's like, it elicits a lot of emotion. And I mean, just for us to see that for the first time, you know, like holding it, playing it, like sitting with it in front of our turntable, you know, like we have like even an insert with the lyric sheet and stuff. I don't know. It warms, I think, both of our hearts. And for me personally, it's like, it just reminds me when I first discovered my dad's massive pile of vinyl, you know, like when I was younger, and just like, I didn't think I'd ever be at a place where, like, one, I'd be a capable enough musician where I would entertain that. And two, really, like, you know, having enough money to ever do it, because all these fun things in music are cost prohibitive. And for us, we have to be smart, which is why, like, we've also found it adorable when there's some crew members on our music video set that thought like, oh yeah, like assume this is your full-time thing, right?
We're like,
yeah, like tell me about it. I was like, oh, little chitlins, my sweet little chitlins. That is no, mommy and daddy here have like day jobs, and we at least love them because they're, you know, they're creative. Like I do motion design and video editing. Rachel's an illustrator, art director, designer, but we know this economy. Like
even like successful indie bands, a lot of them still have day jobs.
Going to the new album, I'm just kind of wondering, since you took a different approach to it, is there a song that you're just looking forward to people hearing, to playing in front of people? Like which?
You want to go first?
Yeah, it's funny. I'm not trying to cheapen the answers. It's just like there's a handful I could think of, but if I want to, for different reasons too. Some of them are just like, on the whole, stylistically, what we're going for, which would be something like, I'd say Warding, but even more Disappear. And there's some where it's like, I think people aren't going to expect instrumentals like Dolores, which is like one I wrote and got to play on acoustic guitar. And Rachel and Ryan, our good buddy, who's also like a talented sound designer, engineer, he made all those additional layers on. I think on a personal level, I really enjoy Lupo because that's not the most left field thing we've done, but it was a really satisfying song from start to finish, just how it came to be. Like, because again, I got to do a bulk of the writing on guitar. I wrote all the bass and the drums, but I think how it came to be with Rachel's involvement really shifted and shaped it into this cool little number that, like, it's one of those songs for a while, and maybe it's like when I first got into Franz Ferdinand and like some like odd stuff, like groovy, kind of funky, but also a little bit of post-punky elements in there that I had been wanting to try for so long. And at first, like when I was demoing the song, I thought, is this shit goofy? And then like, I think after sitting with it, Rachel working on it and putting in melodies and like knowing how to layer and distort and basically like dial in certain effects, I think made it a really special one that I'm proud of, because I think like we haven't done a song like that before, and we managed to pull it off too, because I didn't want it to feel like I was sort of like being someone I appreciate. Like when I say Franz Ferdinand, I don't want people to go like, yeah, he's feeling like, you know, something from their debut, or is that Take Me Out? So, you know, so I was like, oh God, I really don't want this to come across that way. But I'd say that's probably my choice.
Yeah, I think for me, tracks 4 and 5, which are Black Ring and Too Late. I think Black Ring, that's another one that Matt kind of led on guitar. Like he had just kind of a relatively simple riff for the verses, but it was just like, it was groovy, and I think we tapped into like, it had this Sonic Youth kind of vibe, and I feel like a good sign in a song that we work on is like when the vocal melody comes really easily. And I remember one day I was actually working in this room, just like iterating on vocal melodies for the verse and chorus. And, you know, sometimes like they come easily or less easily, but this one, I think it was something like within 30 minutes, it's like I had scratch vocals, and we usually kind of like run them, or I run them, like everything has to be run by him. And, you know, we're allowed to like agree to disagree, but I never really know what to expect. And I just remember you were like, oh yeah, this is cool.
I was
you
like,
didn't really have many notes or any notes. Yeah, Black Ring was really fun in the studio because it was like our most luxurious recording situation to date, because we gave ourselves like a full week, where I think our longest session had only been 5 days, which is still great, but like you know, when you break down everything you have to do for a track, there's a fair amount of stuff.
And it was local. This was
local,
all in Portland.
So we were like pretty ahead of schedule, which left us a lot of like what our really good friend and engineer likes to call candy time, just like, you know, it's time where you can play and like experiment and add stuff, even if it wasn't in the plans. And with Black Ring, there's some really fun like vocal interplay that comes in on the second verse, and we just kind of got fucky with synths throughout it. And yeah, I think we're really proud of the production on that one, especially. And then Too Late is kind of like, for different reasons. I think I'm not nervous for people to hear that one, but it's like the most spare song on the album. And it's like, I'm at my most songwritery on that one. It's sort of like, it harkens back to like more of my roots, where like, I never performed like piano at open mics, but those were situations where it was just me and an acoustic guitar, and that was it. And like, it's a very personal song, and there's a lot of intimacy in it. And yeah, I'm proud of that one. That was one where like I stepped into more of a lyricist role, and similar to vocals on Black Ring, like the lyrics just came really easily and the melody came really easily. And sometimes like songs just kind of have a way of like flowing through you, not to be like speaking in tongues or anything, but just like it's something about the way like when you tap into some kind of creative flow, things just kind of move.
Yeah, honestly, and it's cool too because this album she's written more lyrics than I think on any other release.
Yeah,
and some of them like wording, I told her like I don't want to touch these. I think they're perfect, and I think it's your story, it's your narrative, and like, you know, sometimes we're used to piggybacking off each other and like, you know, editing that way.
Yeah, like Disappear, like you helped a lot on the second verse,
right? And you know, other stuff is like so collaborative. Like I think Black Ring, to her point, I was thinking about like there's some funny inspirations behind all of it, because I'm gonna publish a Substack on the behind the scenes for that one next week. But I was listening to Sonic Youth at the time, but like I was really just like trying to do some Death Cab shit. And it's just funny what happens the moment you take it from unplugged acoustic and then throw some distortion on it, add some propulsive bass and a drum beat. Because I'm like, yeah, it sounds like a little bit of Cool Things, a little bit of Ronettes, and then it just like does like this completely fucking different coda where we're trying to do post rock, and yeah, it's a cool little smattering of stuff.
Yeah, I think it's you know, I just think it's wonderful that you allowed yourselves to go into this like different area and just see what, you know, what you would come up with, because I feel like a lot of people don't do that, and you know, they just do what's safe or what right. doesn't challenge them. And so yeah, I'm so proud of you guys with this record, and just I just have nothing but good things to say about this record and to you guys. And I feel like if I lived in Portland, we'd be best of friends. But you know, that's just me. I'm just saying, you know, I don't want to put any pressure.
So you're saying there's a chance?
Yeah, of course, yes. But and it's also funny that you mentioned Franz Ferdinand and Def Cab, because two bands that I saw at the Rose Garden. Amazing show, but we were there for Franz Ferdinand, and we didn't understand all the people there for Def Cab. Of course, if I had any sense, I would have stayed longer, but you know, me and my buddy were just like, okay, we heard enough. We're good. So
I get it. Even as a Death Cab fan, I get it.
Yeah. But I would have stayed if I was smarter. But
it can get kind of funny too if like you're just with a friend, because what year was this when you saw them?
Oof. I don't know. Definitely after high school.
Okay.
So 07, 08,
okay.
09, 10.
Yeah, I feel like I was getting a little corny around this time.
But I will say at their shows, even regardless, it's you know, it's awkward if you're just with a friend, because when they play Transatlanticism, every couple makes out, and it's just if you're not, or like you decide to like switch it up with your friend, you know, you're gonna have this weird kind of like enveloping FOMO around you that you're just like
this is weird.
Like, fun fact, like we actually saw Death Cab as friends, like when we were in college. This is like this was 2009.
Yeah,
at the Greek Theater in Berkeley, and it's funny because that they're playing Transatlanticism, and it just been raining. The sun came out for the evening, and like everyone's making out, and we're just friends, just like, yep, awkward.
The mood was set, and still it was just like high five. You want a high five?
I was dating someone at the time, which was kind of an obstacle.
Yeah, I had a crush on her, but I buried it. But it's annoying in those moments where I'm just like, stop reminding me. It's the universe is coming in.
I mean, it's loud. I don't know if I can't remember if we had that moment. You know, he's just my friend, but I'm just like, I mean, if you want to, go right ahead. I'm not gonna say no. I don't want to crush your spirit, but you know, whatever. So I'm just I'm somebody that will go along with the bit, and I can commit. So if he's like, hey, let's make out, all right. So
yeah, it's in service of the music.
Exactly.
Yeah. But for people who are at home, not here with us, because that'd be weird, and they want to pick up the album, listen to you guys online, don't know, purchase online, where can they do all
that? So we are exclusively on Amazon Prime. Sorry. We are actually, so starting on May 19th.
Shipped via rocket ship, Blue Origin style.
Katy Perry again.
Mm-hmm. Holding a little flower.
Worst flight ever. Sorry. You just lobbed up the easiest thing of the night, and we just beefed it so hard. We starting on May 19th, it's going to be available everywhere, like Bandcamp. It'll go live, which we stress people go to. But if you want to stream it, it will be everywhere but Spotify. So pretty much like Apple Music, Tidal, all the major streaming platforms, it'll be released there. And actually, after we talk to you today, we are going to be planting some vinyl copies at our favorite local record shops today. So if people live local in Portland, it will be sneaking around, just hiding in one of your vinyl shops.
Yeah, and you can stay tuned for those locations through our Instagram. And we also have a nice little band website, phosphenemusic.com. And that it links out to all of our stuff. So it's a good way to keep tabs on us.
I feel like I've taken enough of your time. But I do appreciate you both. And again, like I said, I was looking forward to just hanging out with you two.
Likewise.
Yeah. This was, as always, a wonderful conversation. And, whether it's it for another episode or just on your own accord, it'd be fun to talk more. And even also, like we said, if you do ever find yourself, like the two of you come up to Portland, let us know.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, we definitely need to make our way up there, because I fucking hate Texas.
Little horns.
I mean, sure, whatever, but I hate Texas.
I'm a poser. It's okay.
No, I don't know if I told you guys this, but I'm pretty open with my hatred towards Texas. So, yeah. But anyway, thank you guys so much. And, enjoy your day, and, stay safe and healthy and all that other jazz.
You too. And good luck with the whole, what.
Yeah, no. She's not going to this one.
Yeah, are you kidding me? This isn't true crime. She's not gonna listen. but anyway, all right, bye.
See you later, Chris.
Thanks.